Welcome to Graeme Games. My name is Graeme. This is a game. Today I'm playing Void Pachinko. This is actually a game that is being published by Two Left Thumbs, so it's something I've played a number of times already, but the game has improved a lot since having the public demo, and so I'm excited to be showing off a newer build of things, maybe than what people have seen previously. I do also just really love messing around with the logo in the main screen here. Now we can play Void Pachinko. Equally as fun. I'm going to turn down the shader a little bit. I know that, like, when playing the game it looks good, but when you're recording, that amount of texture tends to not be picked up super well. So I'm basically going to turn the shader off. I will skip over the old save I have. It isn't even a complete save. It's from a while back. So you can see there's still a decent amount of, like, grain to the game. Big opening explosion here. I love that this game has a little bit of a narrative to it. I don't think I said it's an incremental Pachinko game, which probably is something I will have already had in the thumbnail or the title of the video, so you probably know that. What happened? The seal! It's broken! How can this be? What caused time to unfreeze? You did this! This town was under my protection, frozen in time until you arrived. Do you understand the danger you've put us in? I see. Still, you owe a large debt to this town. Luckily, I may know how to help fix this. I call the well in the center the Void, a space between spaces, past, present, and future. I've dedicated my life to researching its potential. It seems the asteroid revealed the seal built to contain it. So basically what happened here is there's a meteor that was coming to crash down into this village, and they froze time to protect themselves while they could research things and hopefully come up with a solution. And then us, the players, we managed to unfreeze time and accidentally blow this up and expose the seal when they weren't ready for it. So now it's our job to help them. I do like that there's a narrative element to this. And you can see you've kind of torched the environment here, and so now a big part of the game is that you're helping kind of reclaim and rebuild this village. A circle containing pillars of protection, which my master called a pachinko. You know, the bouncers, the bumpers all around, and the pillars. There's much more to explain, but for now, try pressing the play button. I really love the diegetic nature of, like, the UI and things in this game, that there aren't just things that pop up on the screen on top of the gameplay. It's like, you know, a house flips upside down and then reveals a button underneath it. And there's a lot of really cool ways that the environment have been tied into the gameplay. Here, you will be able to siphon off bits of the Void's power by feeding it magic balls. The villagers will throw balls into the Pachinko, and you will have to guide them inside the Void. To do this, you can turn the inner barrier one way or the other. Try holding down A or D, so you can kind of see there's like a tiny bit of like arrows on the rim to indicate which direction you're currently rotating it. There's the two edges there that kind of act as bumpers in front of the gap. You want the balls to go into the gap. If they hit the barrier, they lose some value. While the barrier helps contain the Void, it also destabilizes the balls, halving their value. Be careful and avoid hitting the balls with the barrier. You can also exit at any time by pressing escape. Don't worry, you will keep all of the points scored during that round. So if you bail early with an escape, you'll still keep points. So we have our timer going, and we have a little villager friend, which I think are so cute, coming to deliver our first ball. And for now, there we go. Managed to land the ball. Wonderful. We've got our first bit of currency. You gained a coin. You can now press the shop button and buy something new. So that's where some of the flipping is a little bit more apparent and just feels good. Try buying a basic ball. Now press play to earn more coins. So now we have, again, little villager. The other guy kind of had like a little halo. This guy's wearing like kind of a little bandana situation. I like the really small ways in which the villagers are given like a tiny bit of personality. That guy's wearing like a hard hat, which is basically straight from the key art of the game. Managed to land both of those. You've gathered enough money to unlock your first skill. You can check out the skill tree by pressing the center of the Void in the Pachinko. So, incremental game, gotta have a skill tree. First thing you can buy, Villager. Increases the initial value of thrown balls by 1. Villager value. I should have read the whole thing because that is more descriptive. And then you start being able to upgrade new ball types or unlock new ball types and new pin types, playing around with the gap in your barrier, the phase shift, which lets you kind of shut down your pillars to just kind of let things come in. It's an easy way to kind of wrap things up. That's newer. I've seen it in theory. I haven't played with it. It's a relatively new addition. Oh, and one more thing. Just so you know, there are quite a lot of things you can unlock in the skill tree. From new artifacts, upgrades, and many other things. Make sure to check the skill tree whenever you can. If you hover over it and it glows green, that means you can unlock something there. So right now, pink can't unlock anything. Handy visual aid. I like that. So you can buy additional villagers to be depositing balls a little bit more rapidly. For now, all we can afford is an additional ball. But you can see in the timer there, it's counting down 9, 8, which again, I also really like how that flips through. Ooh, I don't want that touching the barrier, losing value. And we have one more ball coming in. So all the balls have to be put through, which, or as maybe it has to do with like their, as long as it started being delivered towards the board before the timer runs out, that still counts. It's hard to tell why the timer matters, actually. Now that you have enough coins to hire a new villager, go to the villagers tab, and there you can see the green. You know what? I do want to check on the settings here quickly. I can afford a villager, so hire another villager. Now 2 villagers will spawn at the same time. Number of balls you can have in the Pachinko at any one time is determined by how many villagers you've hired. So, they were delivering them one at a time, now I'll have 2. You can get more insight into the villager to ball ratio and specifically the number of balls thrown during the last round by hovering over the hut at the bottom left of the screen. So, whoops. By the way, don't worry too much about balls being destroyed. Just focus on the ones that have the highest value. Balls thrown 3, balls, villagers. Is this not settings? Oh no, that's the Pachinko builder. My bad. I want settings because there should be a thing that displays ball value. Accessibility? That's not going to be what that is. You can fully turn off the shader, which is not really what I'm looking for. Enable outline shop items to better show what you can and can't buy. So I do want that on, actually. I don't want to skip dialogue. I don't want easy mode. I don't want auto retry. Hide values. No. Show values. I want the values shown. I like having the values shown. It makes it a lot. That should probably be the default. Maybe it isn't, just because of some sort of setting I messed with in a previous playthrough. Show positive value displays. Hide positive value displays. I actually don't know what that does. Oh, okay, so only show, like, I guess I could hide negatives so that it's easier to just be like, it's not worth it, skip that one. It's good that you can turn all that off. Yeah, I think I have that better where I want it to be. Even in this early stage here, the balls are only going to have, like, tiny base values. I'm a little bit confused why the values still aren't showing, though. Because, like, the base value of a ball being thrown in is only, like, 1 or something, but then I did upgrade this, which means that the starting ball value is +1, so they should start at, like, 2, and if they touch the barrier, they go down by, like, 1. So I want to see that. I want to make sure I'm seeing what I should be prioritizing where. And I think I'm misunderstanding the settings in some way. Great, you just bought your first pin. Try selecting it. Place a special pin by pressing left click on existing basic pins in the Pachinko. So you can see you can kind of put it anywhere. Doesn't matter a ton. I'm going to put it in this inner circle because those are so tight that they tend to get hit more often. This pin will add value to any ball that hits it. Hold space during gameplay. Balls on screen will track their values continuously. You can also remove and relocate special pins by right-clicking on them, so you can edit that at any time, really. In the newly added pin tab, you can buy more of your already unlocked pins. Funny seeing the way that the outline is overlapping the dialogue there. Remember to place them. You will need to go into the edit menu. So, you can see what you have, then you got to switch over to edit mode. But we're just ready to play again. I'm maybe getting a little lucky that a villager is going to deposit a ball right next to the plus pin, so we might actually get a bit of bonus value there. Nice. Touched it a couple times. So I definitely want to prioritize the ball that I know has done that. I definitely want to turn the values on, though. I'm, oh, weird. Oh, I hit escape. I hit escape to pull up the settings, and instead what I did was ended the attempt. Show values always. You know, which means what? Okay. So when it says enable, that is by pressing this button, I am enabling the shader. Maybe it makes more sense to have one of those little like circle slider things where it's like it slides between on and off. There's like a non-intuitiveness to this where these buttons activate and deactivate, and the button is telling you what the button will do. And is that more intuitive than telling you what is currently active? I don't even know. So this, if I click this, I'll hide values. So I must be currently showing values, but that wasn't true when I first started. So something went, didn't work how I assumed it would. We'll see. Bigger gap size is pretty useful. Yeah, I'm going to go for that one next. That 20% might not feel like a lot, but it's pretty significant. I don't have the money to invest in anything. I barely have any money here. So I think what's going on is that it's because I didn't... Well, the game was telling me hold space to show the ball values, and that's not doing anything. There's something fishy going on there. The ball values are definitely supposed to be displayed. Do you know what? I think it's because this is turned on, but then these aren't. I'm sorry that I've spent so much of this video fiddling with this stuff, and I don't know what the default values of this are, so this could just be a me problem. Wow, did I ever get distracted with all that. So now we can do the ball-eared. Starts with a random value between 1 and 15, which is actually a type of ball in this game where you definitely want to be able to see the value, because it could end up starting at 15, which is like crazy valuable, so you definitely want to like make sure you gather that one up. There we go. That's the ball-eared. Started with 11. It touched the plus pin, went up. Yes. This is much better. And now you can see that one over there. It touched the barrier, lost some value. So now it's much easier to be like, okay, this one over here is way higher. If I'm only going to be able to catch one of these, then I'll choose the high priority one. And I think you can see they have in value, but they don't go down to 0. Once they're down to 1 and touch the barrier, I'm pretty sure you just get the 1 point kind of as like a little bit of a freebie. I have the money to buy an additional pin, so let's put that in. I'm kind of going to crowd them around for the next little bit. It maybe feels a little bit weird vertically crowded just because like you can see a ball arriving to be deposited from the wings way ahead of time, whereas on the bottom there you kind of don't know the ball's coming until it's like about to arrive. But I like that the game shows you the little animation of like there's a villager walking from off screen towards there, so you can anticipate that it's coming. Plus pin value, so it adds more when it gets hit, right? Yes. It's funny that doesn't branch off of the plus pin. Like, it seems like that would make sense, but increase the initial value of balls thrown. That is actually huge to invest further into that. Having stuff scale up through that is just real useful. I don't think I have anything left to place, do I? No. 0 out of 2. They've all been placed. Yes, I am set. They're all just coming from the bottom anyways. I'm curious if somewhere in the game there's a little bit of programming logic that's like the villagers are smart enough to prioritize sending the balls towards where you've placed some bonus pins. I honestly don't know if that is a part of the game. There's kind of a funny thing that happens there where the ball that is being circled into the hole has the 6 and the game pops up the 6 to show you've earned it. And I think they shouldn't both show it at the same time. Like as it's circling the hole there, attach it to the ball, and then once it's deposited, bling, you've got the 6 points or whatever. And that it should probably be made a tiny bit bigger and maybe a different color or whatever, like represented in a different way of earned value versus carried value from the ball. Tiny bit of like polish potential there. The galaxy ball creates stars along its path that add +4 value when collected. Plus pin gets stronger. The phase shift, balls can slip between dimensions and go through any obstacles, turning the board into open air. So if you know what, I'm going to invest in it because it is an interesting ability. The board trembles as your new power awakens. The outline bug here is quite funny. We will work on that, of course. But yeah, the main idea there is that if the ball's kind of getting stuck and it's just bouncing around, and it's like stuck towards the upper part of the board there where there's not even any bonus pins or anything, then maybe you just want to draw it in and put an end to that. Phase shift lets you slip between realities, allowing balls to pass through all obstacles. Try it now pressing W or left shift. So I really love the effect of it. I think there could be more of a sound effect to go along with that as well. And let's just do it here, just to show. Oh, you have to hold it. So basically you're just saying, bring it in, bring it home. I feel like thematically it fits really well with the rest of the game in like a fun way. This interdimensionality and the void and everything and being able to phase shift, like it all fits well conceptually in my mind. So let's get one more of these guys. Get a little bit of a perimeter going there. Looks like it can't afford another upgrade. So for the most part, you do just want to let the balls do their own thing. Like look at that, the amount of value it's juicing. And then it crosses over to a point that looks like it's above 10 where it starts to get kind of a little bit of like a rainbow effect on it. I like the effort that's put into the game to help emphasize where value is. So I'm just going to phase shift that one out. It wasn't near the plus pins or anything, so like just bring it in. It's a really, really great addition that was made very recently that really helps move past those kind of stuck windows much more quickly. It just feels good. Let's see. Anything I can afford in the shop? 40, 45, 35, 35. All right, so after this one, I should be able to purchase a little bit more. There's a temptation to just, you know what, I am just going to bring that one in. It happened again where it's like, it's just not near the plus pins. You know, there's another one coming from the bottom there. So like, while I have a moment to think, I might as well just bring it in. Because if they're on opposite ends of things, I'm not going to be able to get both. So let me just quickly scoop up the one and free myself up for the next. Let's get another Balliard. The Balliards have the potential for such high value that I think that's a worthwhile early investment. The +2 off the plus pin is huge, actually. That feels really good. Ooh, oh wait, prioritize down. Oh, I did everything wrong there. Oh no, so many mistakes were made. All right, scrap that attempt. I tried to pull in the ball so I could prioritize that one on the bottom, and I accidentally just rammed it into the barrier, and it lost all its value. So I cratered that attempt. Trying to be pro gamer here, and like, oh, don't be wasting time on those low value balls. Just phase shift and bring it home, you know. Cash it in, and instead I just nuked everything, and then I panicked, and then it got worse. Oh, come on, 18, huge, get it in there. Ooh, my right hand just kind of bumped. Oh, it's up is what I touched. Funny, because obviously, you know, AD is for rotating it, and W is for pulling it in, and so I accidentally touched up. It matches W, makes sense. Unlikely odds I would touch the exact other button that happens to do that. I'll do my upgrade first. The Galaxy Ball. Tomato Pin explodes on hit, adds +5 value to nearby balls, takes time to regrow. I like the Tomato Pin. I'm going to go for that one. And... Well, wait, I was already in edit mode? Oh, okay, great. Where do I want to place that? I guess I'll put it kind of on the other side. I don't know if that's the best placement. I'm so close to being able to afford an additional thing here. Come on, hit the tomato. Hit the tomato. Yes, yes, yes. Very satisfying. Ooh, ooh. Definitely one. I don't want to miss that one. Oh, there goes all the tomato bonus value. Gone. Gone very quickly. Come on. Hit a couple more. Hit a couple more for me. Or just repeatedly miss it over and over and then lose all... Okay, now just put it... Get it in there. Do you know what? So, balls thrown last time was 5. And I technically have 6. So I'm shy on villagers. I'm not having enough villagers to match the amount of balls that I currently have available to toss. So that's where I should be investing. I think that just kind of really helps with making that decision. Although, now that I have more villagers chucking more balls at me at once, it does get a little bit like high pressure, because it's like, oh god, okay, there's so much coming at me at once now. But as long as you're committing to the actual high values, you should be okay. I thought for sure that one touched the tomato pin, but it must have still been like regrowing or something. Or I was just very, very wrong. Earning pretty decent money here. It does feel a little weird that it goes back to the editing, because like 9 times out of 10 what I'm going to want to do is spend the money I just earned. Very rarely do I think I'll just be like, oh, I gotta rearrange the board. Like, yeah, it's good to be able to do that, but most of the time I'm just buying more stuff. So I don't know, maybe it makes sense that the game, you know, remembers what you had last done. I've right-clicked, because a lot of games will right-click and move to drag around, but right-click is back, which I don't... Left-click lets you do the drag, so as long as there's some way to drag around the tree, I'm satisfied. So, the Galaxy Ball creating the star path. Had read that one a little while ago, but time to actually see it in action. You can see on the left there, it's getting deposited. A couple little stars already getting left behind by it. I actually do not recall if the Galaxy Ball... It can. I was going to say, can it pick up its own star? I don't know. It doesn't seem like... I'm noticing there's a delay between a star getting placed and when it can be picked up, which makes sense, but I don't think there's a very good job done of when a star is on cooldown. So maybe it should get placed gray and then kind of power up to proper gold and have a little bit of a flash when it's ready of some kind. I'm going to invest in more plus pins. That was all the money I had. Really burning through it there. So, now I have much better coverage on this board here, which means I should much more frequently be pulling in high value balls. In theory. We're gonna see how that works, and it's very much still a victim of my own skill, which apparently is not very good. Come on, bring it on. There we go, 69. Woohoo! Let's add another Galaxy Ball. Oh, I didn't even check if I could afford an upgrade. That's fine. Oh, I think I made some wrong choices there. But I'm hoping by having multiple of these Galaxy Balls that, you know, the board just gets absolutely littered with these stars that can start feeding into some massive upgrades, like 36. That might be my new best, I think. Whoa, oh, the half. Dang. All right, I feel like there isn't a lot of visual effects or sound effects to emphasize when a ball takes a half cut like that. And I don't think you want... For a game that's this relaxing and chill and like semi-idle, I don't think you want like every time something bad happens, like disrupting the kind of chill vibes that's going on here. But I think there's room to add a little emphasis to it. Maybe I'll go check the upgrades here first. The Blitz Ball periodically shocks nearby balls, adding 2 value to them. Increases the initial value thrown. You can sell balls you don't need. No, I'm not going to worry about that right now. And I do still have money left over for a basic ball. So I think I've officially just outpaced the villagers again, so I might need to invest in that soon. And I think the balls tossed are ordered randomly. So, you know, sometimes if you're only tossing 8 out of your 9 available balls, you might be skipping the Ballier to the Galaxy Ball or something other than the basic ball. So you are just going to be losing out there a little bit. Man, that Galaxy Ball shot straight through everything, hardly touched anything on its path, and then managed to lose value. Like that just went real poorly. Not a high contributing Galaxy Ball. You know what? I'm going to go back because I need to see if I can afford a villager. Expensive. I cannot. So let's instead do a little board editing here. I'm going to place you, which frees you up. Spread that around just that tiny bit more. It's funny, the tomato pins +5 is really good, but the fact that it then has a cooldown... Oh, balls still hit it. I actually couldn't remember if balls passed through it when it was on like a cooldown. So I was worried that it would become a gap really near the barrier, which you don't want. You don't want things just like slipping through. Everything just lost value there. Oh my goodness. Really wasted those last couple. But yeah, I think that mostly went well. I'm surprised I can still afford an upgrade. No, I think I kind of have to save up for the villagers. The fact that each attempt I'm already not throwing one of the balls is like, well, buying extra balls isn't really going to help me. Oh man. It's a funny thing because it's so satisfying to pick up a high value ball, and then it's so like deflating to watch something drop from like 20 to 10 and be like, oh nuts. Or then it bounces between the barrier and one of the basic pins and manages to hit the barrier like 3 times in 0 seconds, and it tanks itself down to like 0 value. You know, it happens. I can't resist it. I want it. I want the spacing. And you know what? Even more specific than that, I want those to be like 3-1, 3-1. It just satisfies something in my brain. some minor desire to have things be nice and even and symmetrical. Oh my goodness. You know, something Paper Planet has, which was one of the first handful of games published by Two Left Thumbs. We're talking like a good 3 years ago at this point. I want to say August 2023. It feels a little crazy to me to think that, like, at this point in this career path, I don't remember precise release dates anymore. Tells you I've been doing this for a while. But that game, you know, you're rotating around the planet, defending things, kind of like a little bit of a spin on like a TD. Tower defense, for anyone who's not sure what the hell I'm saying there. One thing you could do is you could flip. You could flip to the opposite side, so if things were incoming to attack you, you could flip over to the other side to defend yourself. And it's pretty necessary in that game, because if things reach the planet, you'll die. So if you don't have a way to flip around like that, the game is like totally impossible. Something like this, your ability to make it to the other side quickly might earn you a couple extra points, but the negative of it isn't like, you know, you're going to lose an entire run of a roguelike that you just spent an hour playing a run of. So the consequences are very different. So I don't know if an ability like that is as well suited to this game. Oh my god, you see that one just plummet from 14 to 1? But I could see it being something you upgrade eventually. If it's not already in the game or not planned in some way, I could see that being very useful. Increasing the gap size, increasing the speed at which you're able to rotate, the barrier, those are all nice beneficial things. But yeah, I could see that being if not late game, like maybe like an hour into your run or something, you gain access to something like that. Because I'm relatively frequently experiencing like missing high value balls that happen to be on the opposite of where I'm aiming myself. Come on, hit the tomato and the star. Hit them both. Do it. Didn't quite work out. Hit like 100 plus pins. What are you doing? Nice, 100. So definitely can afford the next villager. And I can still afford an upgrade. I don't think I care about that one, but I'm investing it in any... I wasn't sure if it had a branch off of it, so it's like I should invest in it anyways. Now that you've unlocked cashback, you can sell balls you don't need by pressing right click on them. Why would I sell balls, you may ask? Villagers can only throw as many balls as the number of return trips they can make during the time limit. There we go. That's helping understand the trade-off between the villager and the time limit count. What I really mean is that you might have not been throwing all the balls you've bought so far. Remember, you can see info on this by hovering over the hut on the left side of the screen. You can also press it to cycle through different stats. It's up to you whether you want to tilt the odds in your favor by selling balls you don't need. You should get back all the money you've invested in balls when selling them. Don't ask how I know. So, in our last thing, we threw 8 out of 9, but that was with less villagers. Now we have enough villagers that we should be fine. High risk. I'm like trying to twist the lid back on my water bottle while using my left hand to control the barrier. I probably should have just waited 2 extra seconds so I'd set my water bottle down, but I like to live dangerously. Add an extra challenge. Oh, I just watched that one drop from like 28 to nothing. Oh my god, that one was bouncing back and forth between the plus pin and the barrier, so it was like +2 cut in half, +2 cut in half. That was quite the ping pong that was occurring there. Come on, give me a new peg type. The blitz ball, shocking things. Sure, we'll get another ball type out there. Balls thrown last time 9. Now I'm up to 10 balls though, so I don't know if I've immediately managed to outpace that again already. We'll see very quickly. Oh, that was I gotta take my... I just like let my hand rest down onto the keys on occasion. I'm doing it again. In the middle of saying that I shouldn't do it because I'm accidentally activating the phase shifting. I like immediately put my hand back. All right, 100 at a time. Pretty solid, pretty solid. What did I gain new access to here? Tomato pin area, explosion is bigger. Mirror pin, create copies of balls on hit carrying over 20% of the original value. And reduce the time between star drops. All of those are cool. All those are things I'm interested in. So mirror pin. Let's put you like over here. Sure. You know what? I just weirdly decided, I don't like that. I want it over here instead. So I'm just wiping that attempt. Which is handy. It's handy that you can just make that call with no real downside to it. So there, I triggered it, but I didn't quite like see it or feel it. I wonder if a little bit more emphasis or effects work could go into the clone. Like, I assume it kind of just... Does the mirror thing recharge? It might just... Oh, come on. Come on. Alright. There we go. There we go. It really seemed like it was just going to bounce forever. I had to move. Yeah, the mirror might be a one-timer. So maybe it's not wise to have it in the exterior. Because then it's most likely to trigger at a time when whatever hits it is relatively low value. Oh, I got so focused on switching that I didn't actually check what I could have afforded, which was presumably something. There it was. There was a bit of an effects work showing it kind of spawn off, but I feel like, when that sort of stuff's happening on your peripheral, you're hardly going to notice. I was looking at it and I hardly noticed. So I think there could be room to kind of have it like zap onto the board a little bit, like maybe it starts large and like whoop or something like that. I think there's room. I think there's room to emphasize that a little bit, but I know the game doesn't want to devolve into like constant fireworks, overwhelming sensations. So there's a balance for sure. New type of villager runs twice as fast. Barrier percentage reduces value lost by 5%. Well, right now it cuts in half, and it rounds down. So 5% actually doesn't seem that useful. Starlight might be good. Tomato area might be good, but maybe I'm better off just investing in some additional pins. I thought maybe I'd be able to afford more. Balls thrown, and I have 10 balls. Okay, so I can afford more. Let's get another blitz ball. Oh wait, did I have a pin? I did. I have an extra tomato pin. So we're slowly starting to fill this in with a little bit more power. I like the subtle little effect of the shock. There's not really much of a sound effect for it. I feel like the majority of the sound effects in the game are for balls hitting the pins and not a lot related to the effects. The effects of the balls. Dropping a star, I don't know if that needs a sound, but like a zap, probably. That should probably have more of a sound effect. Or that's the main one where I feel like I recognize that would be beneficial. Oh, okay, so there I didn't actually throw all of the potential balls. Sure, drop stars more often. I was thinking I would save up for the fast villager, but you know, maybe I get lucky on an attempt here, earn that money a little bit more quickly. all of my focus was on that. I feel like you get locked in on the high value ball, and then like 3 mid value balls that altogether would have been worth more go deplete themselves off on the side. It's oh damn. I don't know. I think I've seen people play the game and get almost frustrated by that, and I understand it. I understand that it's like not a good feeling, but like each individual attempt is so fast, and you kind of have to make a priority call in the moment. So like it doesn't really bother me. You feel it a little bit, but it's like, yeah, it's just how it is. You know what? I feel like I should be saving for that runner, because the runner would be helpful, help me throw more. Although that time I did throw all the balls out, because it probably I deposited 1 or 2 quickly enough that it allowed for more time for the villager to run back. So that's quite interesting, actually, is that it's not just a matter of having a good balance of villagers to balls. It's like, you know, I could choose to purposely suck a couple of these in, which then means that the villagers have more time to run for their next ball pickup. And so I think I kind of got to play around with that a little bit more. Oh, everything lost value there. And I feel like the villagers ran out of things to do. I pulled in too many too quickly, and then the villagers didn't have enough supply. All right, you get through there. That's actually really handy in that instance. It got hung up in those valueless pins, and I could make it kind of skip through to the more useful layer. Man, for whatever reason, that one time I was definitely easily going to be able to. It was 225, right? Haven't really been close to that since. The Ballatro, love it. When scored, adds a 0.25 multiplier to the end of the round screen. Ooh. I actually don't know if I've played a version of the game that has that one. I know the developers talked about it, and they showed me like the design and stuff, and it's very cute, little reference. But I don't think I've played with it. I kind of didn't realize how powerful it was. I'm very curious to see in action if it feels as strong as it sounds. I'm also trying to look around if I see it on the board. Whenever that was dropped off, I think I missed it. Oh, come on. I want both of these high values. What are you doing, man? Get away from that tomato. Oh, no. They both got halved. The worst. But that third one ended up being a pretty good contributor. Cool. The thing at the top there switches over to 1.25, and then you get the multiplier. There, now we got the runner easily. Gimme. And so very cute little reference there to Jimbo. So is it still a ball you have to grab, though? Like, it still has a value, it still contributes in that way, but then also as a multiplier? And you can see 5 out of 10, like there's a limit to how many of them you can buy, and you can only have one of that one. I'm going to throw an extra galaxy ball in there because, you know, I did invest once in the stars dropping more frequently. So I do want... I want to kind of invest further in that. Allow that more room to occur. There was the Balatro there. Balatro. Nice. Yeah. It does still carry its own value, and it's still affected by stars and multipliers and points, pins, and everything. Same as everything else. But the funny thing is that even though it's not live on the board contributing heaps and heaps of bonus points and everything, obviously in the whole of the game, it's like a massive contributor. It scales like crazy. So, balls thrown last time, 13. I threw everything. How far off? Well, I have the runner, and the next cost of either villager is huge, actually, so I guess I'm not doing that anytime soon. Oh my gosh, if you mirror pinned a Balatro, like, feasibly that could happen, right? I want to see that. I'm curious, will it go up by like 1.5? Is that how that'll end up working? Is that how you get the most out of the Balatro? Or is it 1.25 times 1.25? Like, does it add, or is it a compounding thing where then I'm not going to do mental math on what that would equal, but I'm curious how that would compound, or how the game handles that. That was a very quick round. Did not earn a ton, but enough to still get another upgrade. Tomato pin area, maybe that's time. Maybe it's time for that one. Ooh, and I can still afford one of these. Increases the value gained by balls when they collect stars. Sick. I like that. Yeah. That's all. So now I have multiple galaxy balls. They deposit stars decently often, and the stars have enhanced values. So that should now start to be a pretty massive contributor. Should start to get some pretty like generous comboing going off of that. I don't know if that's the right placement for the mirror balls. I think my logic makes sense of wanting to keep them towards the center where they're more likely to multiply something that's picked up a decent amount of points. But like, if it goes from 40 to 10 when it spawns the extra, that's not even that crazy. And if it spawned, you know, if I had it out here and it spawned something that went from 2 to 1, and now that 1 has a larger path towards the barrier to pick up a bunch of bonuses, like maybe that does end up being the bigger contributor. Let's get another tomato pin down. Let's start moving some of this around. Whoops. Yes. At this point, I no longer have, I don't know, the symmetry going on or anything, and I think I could. Oh, snap. I think I did mirror the Balatro on that one. So I'm actually very intrigued to see how that's affected the multiplier. There's so many high value balls anymore. Whatever ability I've had to split my focus to make sure I'm paying attention to high value balls, it did go to 1.5. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Is just out the window. At this point, I'm just trying to make sure I collect anything with any remote semblance of a bonus value on it. Increases the shock pulse, increases how often that pulse takes effect. I can add more balls. I can pretty safely add more balls. That was precisely the amount of money I had. That worked out wonderfully. I would love... I'm just curious. I'm curious to see... I don't even know where I was going with that previous sentence. Got distracted in the middle of the thought, and then got distracted in the middle of the tangent, and on and on and on. Mostly I want to see if I invest in 2 more balls. Can my villagers keep up with that? Should I have been buying more balls a little sooner? Like, do I have the villagers to support that? Obviously, it depends on how quickly you're making the deposits, but I mean in like a macro sense. And the answer is yes. Yeah, that probably was the right time to buy more balls. Get an extra plus pin on the board. Really, really, really fill in that area. It does... I do start to wonder, like, at what point should I... Is this the right strategy? Should I be placing some of these more in that middle ring? Is there more likely to have repeat bounces? Because, like, when I have them in the internal ring like that, they risk getting caught just bouncing between the barrier and the plus pin, which is, you know, it's good because at least it's counteracting that value lost. But, like, I wouldn't say that's a great thing. Let me kind of see. Let's do an experiment. It's not going to be a very large sample size or very formal. You know, I could void shift to pull this in, but I'm just going to let it keep going. You're grabbing stars. Is that a galaxy ball? Was it depositing stars? That was going well. That was a wonderful jump that just happened. So I'm gonna totally change things up. I just kind of want to see. So if I instead switch to you guys now take up that outer area, and I still got a little extra one, so let's just stick you there. Tomatoes, get the mirrors in there. That's everything, right? So I just added, what was it? It was like $5.75. So with no other investments, with no added upgrades or anything like that, are they more likely to get trapped bouncing around, gaining value, and then I can react and catch them before they touch the barrier? And, like, there's an infinite number of random factors that are going to influence that, so I don't actually know. Well, that didn't go great. So, like, hard to say. Is that just that one didn't go that well, or was I correct to stick with that initial strategy? How much money am I sitting on here? 900. Is there a new type of pin available? Not currently. You are cheaper, so I'm going to buy you first. Mirror pin charges. Sick. Blitzball rate. Barrier reduction, sure, because at least that opens up new branches. And that was like all my money. That weirdly worked out that I could afford everything there. Oh, well, escape. I forgot to rebuild my Pachinko, silly boy. Place those all around first, and I guess I can do like some kind of symmetrical stuff here. That is satisfying. I do enjoy that. And I think this ended up being better because, you know, they are tight, adjacent to each other, and their density kind of creates a little bit of a barrier effect where the balls don't actually make it through that often, and so they end up getting caught, and they're adding values like so much more than this is the better setup, at least in this early game. I can't say necessarily how that'll scale later on, especially since the game has like quite a number of surprises, things that will get hinted at later in this demo experience, but like the full game, things change pretty dramatically. You know, incrementals as a whole are not very long game experiences, handful of hours, maybe like 4 or 5 hours, something like that. But I think people will be really excited seeing the ways that this one changes as they're playing. Yeah, plus pin value. Those are getting hit a billion times over per attempt. Tomato pin value as well. Sure, why not? Those... Come on. You gotta hit a few of them. Actually, though. You can't just hit like the plus pin once. I need you to hit it like 17 times. That's where things are gonna actually scale for me. My goodness, my ability to prioritize is gone. Oh, I was curious why those two kept stopping. They freeze the tiniest bit when they shock, and I think that was 2 shock balls side by side that kept shocking each other. That was actually really interesting. They were just getting partially frozen on the board, adding value back and forth between each other. Very, very handy. Let's see. It's time to add more balls for sure. The shock ball is seemingly quite good. Yeah, let's add one of everything. I feel like that almost certainly is too many balls relative to this number of villagers, but like, hell, just send it and hope that it scales the way I'm hoping it will. Hope to hope, I say. I wonder if there's a way, all those accessibility features and things to help with like hiding negative values, which nothing I have, possibly nothing even in the demo, can lead to a negative value. I don't know when exactly that becomes a part of the game. But I wonder if there's a way to have a scale. So when the highest value that you're achieving is like a 10, or the highest value on the board is a 10, then it has the most emphasis on it. It's the biggest, it's the loudest, it's the most colorful, and a 1 or whatever the lowest thing on the board is like just minimal. But if you have a 400 on the board and the lowest is a 20, that same scale is happening where like, and it's something I'm thinking on, and I think might be in place, that the most emphasis is put on the largest value always, irrespective of what that specific value is. Like, I think that's already how it works. But it's hard to feel in real time as the game is going a little nuts. Increased tomato pin value, and then, you know, we're most of the way through the tree here. Goldie. When this ball hits a basic pin, it turns it into gold. Gold pins add value. That's sick. That's sick. Too many balls. So I am actually going to sell off a couple basics, and now I can afford that. So, you know what? Why not? I will. I'll do one more there. Yes, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it at that. Probably I should still sell off like one more basic. I probably don't need all that. Ah, nice. Seeing the upgraded tomato in action. The larger area, the larger, like the plus 10 is pretty huge. Yeah, there starts to be a point where like, I think it is. I think it is. I think the game, yes, it definitely is shifting things to make sure the thing with the highest value is always getting the most emphasis. And there's so much kind of shifting, changing colors and things that's not, it's easy to see and recognize and feel and react to when you're playing. And it makes me think of like Guitar Hero. When you're watching someone play Guitar Hero and those notes are firing down the screen, the fretboard at people, and it's like, oh my god, how are you doing this? And as you're playing it, you're like, it's not that hard. And I think this game has a little bit of that quality where it's pretty easy in the moment to be like, okay, there's my high value, and like react and move to those targets. And I'm curious for people watching if they're just like, how are you doing this? This seems so hard. So 1,000. We can unlock Goldie, and then one last thing left on the board there, which costs 1,500, so not affording that right away. And there's now a second, a second page to all of this. Oh, so this, yeah, that's a ball. Okay, yes, that makes sense to me. Oh, do you know, I actually look at this because, oh, well, that's my bad. It can't show me the ball shown last time because I interrupted it. Last score -1. Yes, that's my bad. I want to trim away some of the basic balls because I want to guarantee that golden ball is making it onto the board, as well as all the other more powerful, more interesting balls. So I think that's the right trade-off to be making. I gotta get over there. There's 100. Oh, I just clipped the barrier. Missed it. Come on, man. So many high value ones. The golden pins are scattered all over the place. I never properly saw the golden ball. I was too busy looking at the balls themselves. Interesting. It touched such random things. It started over in kind of the bottom right there, and then must have migrated across some of those plus pins and things before making it to the upper right of the board. Yeah, it's a cool ball. It's very interesting. And you can buy one more of it too. Ooh, you could mirror one of those. That would be huge. Mirroring the golden ball. There we go. That entire inner circle at this point is now got beefy stats going on. That guy's got a shirt. I mean, that's probably been true 100 times over with these villagers, but I've primarily noticed their wacky fun hat types. That guy's got those like curly Q horn pigtail situation, whatever those are supposed to be. But I hadn't noticed that some of them are wearing shirts. There's something funny about that only a handful of them decided that was necessary attire. Oh, this is the golden ball right here. So one thing I'm curious about actually is, I'm not even noticing it. So I don't know if more effects could be applied to a pin being turned golden. I don't know how important that is, because your attention needs to be on the balls themselves. But I assume the golden pins still add value to the golden ball. But that was hard to see. I don't know if there was very clear, good effects work on the golden pins being touched. I came up just shy of throwing all my balls, so I won't add more balls, and I'm basically focusing on just trying to build up. Yeah, the gold pins are still adding value to the... Oh, nice. That mirrored the golden ball, but then it got deposited right away anyways. The effects on the golden pins are a little weak. I think it's because maybe they're yellow that it makes the little light up effect not as noticeable or something. But I almost feel like some golden sparks could fly off of them or something like that. Like really subtly maybe, like less so than even the shock ball is doing. But yeah, the gold pins are like an interesting new cool pin type. And I can hardly even see the little glow and pulse. Oh no, that was at 190 and it got halved. That might have also been the ball outro. That's kind of funny. But yeah, I think the gold pins could be given a little bit more feel. So, 1.5, go back in time. Gather enough energy from the void to bring back the village to its original state. This new level provides a base 4 multiplier to the final score. And there is one extra thing here still. I'll look at that in a second, but first, you restored the village. You did it! You saved this town. Now, the demo ends here, but the full release will include more levels, balls, and pins, and other unlocks that'll make your Pachinko generate millions of points per run. Although, you can also keep going and buy a couple of new things in the skill tree. So, not the literal definitive end to the demo, but kind of the end of the story. You've progressed to the next phase here, restoring the village back to its glory. And if you enjoyed, please go wishlist, leave a positive review. It genuinely helps so much. So please do that. But now, you can kind of interact with the board a little bit. You can go back to your old setup, and you can advance to the new area where things are repaired, and there's a slightly different board layout. And this is the absolute simplest version of it too. Oh, I don't have pins. I have to re-buy pins? Or do I have to take them off of here? But if you watch the trailer, it's a good way of showing off how the game will evolve further, and you can kind of see the different areas that you'll end up traveling through, which I think is quite cool. Weird that I can't actually. All right, well, let me just play an attempt here. Because is this being treated almost like, prestige, where when you move to the new area, it's like, okay, you have basic of everything, and then you're going to have to repurchase things? It's the ×4. Yeah, I think that is kind of what's going on. I kind of thought maybe what would happen is that I would carry over all those past pins and still be able to play with and use those. So I probably didn't need to remove them all from the previous board the way that I did. Yeah, simple as that. I do think I want to at least look at this. Place block pins near each other to create barriers between them. These barriers would disappear when the timer hits 0. So you can really create like backboards. You can arrange a bunch of pins that add value, and then on the other side, create something the ball can't get past to really force it to bounce between. It's cool to play around with. And basically, you're creating these. You're like making these little garden-y sort of situations, or at least like an equivalent of that, in order to have kind of better control, guardrails and whatnot of where you want the balls to go. Only as long as the timer, though, but that's still a generous amount of time to like really get a lot out of things. And it just keeps growing and evolving from there. We would love some feedback. We would love to hear your reviews on the demo. Leave them directly on Steam. That helps a lot. But there's a Discord you can join. Talk to the devs directly. Let them know what you like, dislike about the game, what you hope to see in the full release. We are really excited by how everything has progressed so far, and we're excited to have it in your hands. There's a link down below. Check it out for yourself. Add it to your wish list, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.